welcome to the Make the Most of Life podcast. I'm your host, Ben Wilsey here. We've got Eddie Saturn over here, special guest today. He's doing the Star Trek thing. That's what he does, keeping it cool. Um, so welcome, Eddie, and I bring you on to this podcast here because I think that you're a great example of making the most of life. We met when you were performing your music artistry. You're going to tell us about that and what you do with that, beyond that, whatever, however you make the most of life. And
Yeah,
looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome here. Let's go.
I'm super excited. Yeah, thank you for having me, man. That was such a great day. That was supposed to be just not just a performance. It's never just a performance, but it was just a performance I got asked to do while I was out in Massachusetts, is what I mean. Because
Yeah.
currently I'm in LA for the time being, and I went back home to visit family, and my friend Pete McQuill was like, "Yo, do you want to do first night?" I was like, "Hell yeah, that's like super cool." And I love Bishops, so I'm glad that something big happened out of it because this is big. Me meeting you, having this friendship. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's awesome. Universe works in mysterious ways, right?
Don't it?
Brings together.
Don't it?
Like we don't even know where this is gonna go.
Hell
We
no.
know as we felt the connection. I felt like, dude, this guy's up there making the most of his life. He's doing music, which I think music is a huge part of, you know, making life excellent,
Yeah.
uh, and awesome, and you know, so that's one way that I make the most of my life is going to live music, you know, and living it up. And you provided that night. New Year's Eve is what first night is for our listeners, and Bishop's is Bishop's Lounge. Shout out to Bishop's Lounge in Northampton, Massachusetts here.
Shout out to Bishop Party, yo.
So my first question, official question for you here is tell us a little bit about your background or your backstory. Like, you know, what are you about? Where are you coming from?
Yeah, man. When you asked that, I wanted to start like really far back,
Hmm.
but maybe that'll come up. I don't want to bore people. I don't want to
Yeah,
tell
just
my
a little bit.
biography here, but
Just a little bit about who
from
you are and what's up.
from where I'm at, it's still a good place because it says so much about where I was. So, as I said before, I'm currently in LA. I moved there November 7th. So I drove from Massachusetts up to Canada to see Niagara Falls to the west, and I got there the 7th. So 5 days, November 2nd to the 7th.
So you're from
And
Massachusetts.
yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, that's a great place to start. I'm from Massachusetts. I was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. I went to Minnechaug High School. So if anybody knows Minnechaug, Wilbraham,
Uh-huh.
please let me know. Um, and yeah, so I worked at MGM Springfield, and man, I got nothing bad to say about the people that I worked with. Really great people. I think people are obviously more important than corporations. But in this case, I'm gonna highlight how evil MGM is and how evil casinos are. It's just crazy taking advantage of degenerate people, for lack of a better word, people that just have problems. And then the fact there's a lot. I'm not gonna get super into it, but
Yeah,
it's
we don't
evil.
want to
So I
get
was like,
too we don't want to get too hard on the on
on the
anybody here,
corporation,
but yeah.
but it's evil, and it caused me to realize that it was no place for me.
Mm.
And I was also being like domesticated in my head, like just kind of getting further and further away from doing my music. So I dipped out in September, and then I was like, yeah, I need to really go full sail with my music instead of just kind of like hitting it sometimes. So I moved to LA, and that's where I'm at right now.
What a move. That
Yeah,
takes guts, man, you know?
yeah. I was a little scared. Like on the drive, I was a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. And then as soon as I put the 8 hours to Ontario, it was like I could do anything, and I just kept going. And I was just like, I can do anything.
The first 8 hours. You
That's
know,
really it.
it makes a lot of sense because I think about this often. I realize this often that like you just got to get past the first couple steps, first couple steps, first few minutes of doing something, You
Yeah.
know, that message is all over the place, but like it's so true. Because it's the hardest part is getting started on any kind of, and especially on a journey like in moving.
Yeah.
And I mean, did you have things set up across country?
Vaguely. So I'm definitely a wing it type guy, but I plan enough so that you have to plan a little bit. So
Yeah.
I had a friend Mahib out there. Shout out to Mahib. And I
Hmm.
told him, I was like, yo, I'm gonna move. And he's like, I got you. You got a place to stay when you get here. I didn't look for jobs, but because I was like I wanted to see what the studios were like because I wanted to work in a studio. And he told me about a group called Green Tea Studios, who I've been like in interfacing with since I got here. So I had that set up. And through Mahib, I met so many people. So that technically, yeah, I was set up. I met so many people that are like my good friends out here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like they've become your solid good friend network.
Say it again.
You do you mean they've be like new friends that have become your solid friend network out there? So they really
Yeah.
feel at home and
Yeah. It's crazy. There's a lot of East Coast people out here,
oh,
which doesn't matter. I'm not like, seeking East Coast people as much as I love the East Coast, but they're just here. They're just out here so much so that there's a small group of like Springfield people. So
whoa.
like Western Mass that are here, and I've linked up with them, and I didn't meet them in Springfield. I met them out here, which is
That's
crazy,
wow. Again, the way the universe connects us all, it's amazing.
magical, man.
Mhm. So, maybe a little bit further back in about you and in your story too, like or um yeah, I just want to start with getting to know who you are and what you're about more. Tell us a little bit about your music, what you're doing there, because that's
Yeah, yeah,
connected.
yeah. No, there's a lot to say. I would open this up that way you can kind of chime in.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a huge sci-fi film, video game like nerd,
Okay,
dork, I'll even say.
that's where the Star Trek hand thing. I can't even do it.
I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna teach you.
I can't. I've tried. I've tried to like spread it with and hold it. I can't do it automatically.
So I'll kind of open up and ask you a question if you don't
Oh,
mind.
sure.
What is your favorite, just in case you don't like video games or sci-fi, I'll ask a broad question. What's your favorite sci-fi movie,
Oh,
video game, or cartoon? And if you have an answer for all three, then answer it.
oh
But if
wow.
it's only one, just pick one.
I mean, cartoon. You got to go back to the Jetsons.
Hell yeah. Whoa. Some
uh,
Hanna-Barbera shit.
um, and I gotta think because I'm not like a I enjoy it, but I'm not like a nerd like you proclaim to be. In that realm, let's say we're all nerds in some form, right?
Right. Even
Uh,
sports people.
um, a video game. I don't know. I don't really play much video games. A movie. Oh, I mean, Star Wars is a classic, but like, how about another old school one that was a favorite childhood, little known, less known movie, but it's Flight of the Navigator.
No way. The 80s film where he
Yeah,
gets the arcade game.
yeah. And
Holy
and
moly.
like he finds the alien like in the woods, the
Yes.
right, and he ends up flying the the
The
saucer.
ship.
The
Yeah,
ship.
through the video game. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Well,
That's
he's in the
such a
hospital or whatever in the space station, right? And then he ends up actually flying the saucer there
the
at the
actual
military base
ship.
or whatever it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good movie. So my
I
best
mixed up it.
friends,
Alien in the Woods. I mixed up E.T. with him with Flight of the Navigator.
but it's vaguely the same concept.
Yeah,
Vaguely, there is an alien in Flight of the Navigator.
yeah. The collection of them, the little guys in the.
You know what? We mixed up three 80s movies.
We did it.
I mixed up The Last Starfighter with
Oh,
Flight of the Navigator and E.T. We should just make a movie with like that's an amalgam of all of them.
good laughs. That's a big part of what we're about. Make the most of life, man. Let's go.
Shout out to the '80s for making movies that are like so similar. Like Gremlins is
Yeah.
a little similar to Flight
Oh,
of the Navigator
Gremlins.
too.
Gremlins 2 is a good one.
Yeah,
Uh, all right. So side tangent, and now I got to hear your answer to those.
yeah. I definitely have answers. I would say film is tough because it changes every day. I think depending on where my head is at, I will like something else because it's making me think that day. I'll say right now that my answer might change towards the end if I remember, like, oh yeah, clearly this is my favorite.
Uh-huh.
But I'll say right now, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar,
Oh.
because I've been thinking a lot about like quantum physics or like even like metaphysics and how that interacts with the quantum realm and fourth dimension, stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
like life after death, and not in a morbid way or a scared way, just curious. The answer is
Yeah.
never going to change what I'm doing here, but it's cool to know. It's cool to or ponder, not even know, because I don't think we'll ever know, but ponder. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my favorite film. My favorite cartoon. Oh, this one's tough actually. I thought I knew the answer, but now I'm like, man, there's some classic ones that hold a lot of weight. A lot of new cartoons are dope though. So I like Steven Universe because
What's it
the
called?
writing, Steven Universe,
Steven Universe?
Steven Universe, yeah, it's a Cartoon Network cartoon, and it centers around this kid who has a gem in his belly button, and you don't really know why when you're watching it, and it gets revealed why, and he is guardianed by these aliens that are called the crystal gems, and they're these androgynous crystal like diamond jewel aliens, super cool and different and very like I'm a huge film guy. That's another thing. That's another
Yeah.
reason why I came out to LA. I want to like write stories for film and
Mm,
TV.
cool.
And
We'll have to talk about that further uh at some point. I think it'd be a well, we'll see if we get to it here, but I think um I definitely want to get through all the questions that I have. Um and then, you know, just keep having fun through it. So maybe we'll get to that, or maybe we'll have just you and I'll talk about that at some other point. But that's a
yeah, we can have like a B-sides, you know what I mean?
yeah. B-side, yeah, talking music language. Yeah,
But
writing stories and working in Hollywood. That's definitely a dream of mine too. So
oh man, we definitely got to chat then.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got
I
some
digress.
ideas.
I apologize. I talk a lot.
No, it's
I
good.
think we're
It's
both
good.
good talkers.
Um,
So yeah, Steven Universe is good to me, like really good to me, because the story is just amazing and you fall in love with these characters. I'm a, I'm a sensitive guy, so me saying that I cried about something is not too crazy, but I cried at that show. It was just so beautiful, a lot of beautiful moments. And my point is, they wrote these androgynous characters very well. There was a lot of like love that had no gender or no anything, it was just love. It was like like they're so androgynous, these characters, and I think a lot of shows struggle with that
yeah,
because they try to make a statement where it's like, I think my opinion with that, it's like you don't need to make a statement when it comes to like if you're trying to be like, yo, like two men can love each other, two women can love each other. I think what we all want is that to just be normal. We don't gotta like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just as normal as anything else.
yeah.
So they did a really good job at that. And I loved all those characters. So yeah, Steven Universe, favorite cartoon. And
Mm.
then what was my last thing that I
And
asked you?
Steven Universe is the newer one, you said.
Correct. Correct.
You
It's
you
on
maybe
Cartoon
mentioned
Network.
an older one that went deep for you as well.
Oh yeah, okay. So going throwback, uh it came to mind. This is so hard because I have to like I usually have an answer, but for some reason my brain's like, no, 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 this, no, no, no.
So
But
you
kids
don't
next
have to go
door.
there.
What do you say?
You don't have to do that one. Just stick with the one you just said. And then
No,
what's
no,
the
no. So what came to mind
oh
was Codename Kids Next Door. That's like
oh
a, you know that one?
I've no, but go ahead.
It's like a 90s cartoon and it's so good. It had all this like lore. I appreciate lore because that's how I write my stories. I start with like deep lore on every character. If a
What's
character doesn't have lore,
what is
they
lore?
probably should be scrapped. Lore is like a backstory, a mythos, you know what I mean? So if you're looking at like Star Wars, the lore of Obi-Wan is that he used to be a general in the Clone Wars and he loved this Mandalorian politician, excuse me. He trained a Jedi that turned to the dark, you know what I'm saying? Like that lore,
Oh,
maybe
it's like
even going further back.
so we're talking about your background or the backstory. That is the lore.
Correct. That's a great segue.
Oh,
So yeah, so I asked these questions about like nerdy things to also exemplify my nerdiness. And that's like where the story starts. I think I was always this kid that was just interested in science, interested in imagination,
yeah,
interested in creation.
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, you
Always
get
thinking
it.
about that stuff for my whole life. Like, what is life? What is the meaning of all these things? Like all those deep questions. I love it. Which is
Yeah.
probably where in my background story this is kind of developed from is all of my curiosity and all my interest in what is life about and people and my love of connecting with people and of all different types and all around the world and and so so yeah that's why we're here. I
Hell
think
yeah.
now I'm just kind of realizing like those were probably the early seeds that brought us here. So um
Curiosity, man.
yeah. I want to, if you don't mind. Well, wait, you were going to talk about one more thing there in the or do you want to just move forward?
Yeah, let's move forward.
Okay.
Let's be fluid.
Okay.
Don't sweat it, man. If we
Okay.
come back to it, we come back to it. If not, we had a good ride and it's gonna be
Cool.
great anyway, you know?
Little sci-fi start, yeah, little right. Okay, so if you could have your perfect day, absolute perfect day, what would that look like?
Let's see. Absolute perfect day. That's easy. That one's an easy one.
Mm,
Gym in the morning. So starting off where I do something that's like rigorous and disciplined, because I think that's like a good place to start your day. Because then everything after that is not that.
uh-huh.
So go to the gym, do, and in this paradigm, I have like a sauna and an ice bath, so I can do everything. I can massage
Ooh,
my muscles, ice bath, sauna, and then I would get breakfast with like a lot of close friends, just like a
wow,
nice
big
big
breakfast.
brunch. You
Okay.
say it again. You like breakfast?
A big
A big
breakfast with a bunch
breakfast.
of people, a breakfast
Yeah.
party, like it's like your birthday almost.
Yes. Yes. I like that. Like it's my birthday. Yeah. Because I just love getting people together. I love like seeing friends and I love connecting to friends that haven't met. That's like one of my favorite
Ah,
things because I can see where things triangulate. That's like my superpower, I guess. Like I
that's
love
awesome.
triangulating things, you know. Anyway,
I love it. No,
then
we're on the same pages here. I like that too. Like connecting people, being a connector, networker of seeing how two things or multiple things could come together in like maybe ways that nobody else would have thought of. It's
yeah, it's like magic.
yeah.
It's like magic. You'd like my friend Mahib, the one that I told you from LA. He's
Uh-huh.
from Massachusetts as well. And we talked about it. He's a very good triangulator as well.
Mm.
That's like our coin term, even though it's a real, like triangulation's a real term, but we're like triangulators. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put that on your business card.
Professional triangulator.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm all about the creative business cards.
Yeah.
So okay, keep going with your day. You're having your brunch. We're still early in the day.
Yep. Then studio, like invite maybe some people, maybe not, because sometimes I like to be in the studio alone. So I'd be like in the studio with my producer Donnie Dark Pop,
Nice
make a
name.
bunch
That's a
of
great
music.
name.
Yeah, isn't it fucking cool?
What, say it again?
Donnie Dark Pop.
That's his real name?
That's not his real name.
Oh,
But you met him actually. He was on stage with me at Bishop's Lounge.
the white guy with the
Yep. White
blonde
kid.
hair?
Yep.
I talked to him actually. I actually reached out to him um as well about this podcast, and he was interested in learning more. So
Yeah. You should totally get him on. He's a great guy, very,
very talented too.
very talented. Yeah, so studio with him. And then I love food. So a perfect day is gonna have a lot of food. So if he
Good.
would cook food, that's
Yeah.
that's a perfect day because he's freaking amazing at cooking just like whatever he's got in his cabinets and
Oh
fridge
yeah.
and then making something great and healthy. He
Uh,
makes us my favorite thing. So this is like specific. My favorite thing is when I go to his crib, which is the studio, and he makes this like walnut chicken salad. And it's
wow.
absolutely delicious every time. It's a little sweet, a little nutty, chicken, vegetables, avocado, and it's just yeah. We would just make a meal, and then playing video games, and then like a movie,
Cool.
and then that's like the night. Yeah, because that's just like all the shit that I love to do.
Nice. Great. Good friends, good food, good activity,
Yeah,
positive, feel good stuff.
yeah,
Expands your mind, expands
yeah.
your energy.
Spans their heart.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. All right. So, how do you personally make the most of your life daily or regularly?
Mm, that's a beautiful question. I try to make the most of it by learning.
Mm. Yeah.
My initial answer was love, and that's obvious. Loving is expansive. It
Mm.
grows. It's not a contractive behavior or action or state of mind. But learning, I had to learn how to love unconditionally,
Oh,
right? So everything is going to be an extension of learning, no matter how good or bad it is. So I think that is how you can make these decisions that make the most out of life by learning
yeah.
and constantly being a student. Because the best teacher is a good student. The best student is a good teacher. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
cycles and cycles.
Yes. And it reminds me of this quote that I love. I love quotes. We'll get to quotes more later too, get you some of your favorites. But I love this one where it's like if you're not growing, you're dying. Like if you look at nature,
Yeah.
the teacher, like nature's such a great teacher for life. I mean, the ultimate teacher, I think. But yeah, and
Yes.
so if we're living and making the most of our life, we've got to keep growing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so as soon as like if in nature, as soon as it stops growing, that means it's dead.
Yeah.
So it's really simple but really interesting.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, if we're just stagnant in life, and not doing anything with it, like it's our energy's pretty dead, pretty low,
Yeah.
you know. And if if we're not learning any, yeah. So anyway,
I like that so much. Like that whole concept of because that's almost describing what life like what is life.
yeah,
That's the answer almost. Like I
almost.
think it's a good answer. I think it's a good answer. Obviously we don't know and it doesn't
No,
matter like I said.
yeah,
But that is a great place to start. What is life? It's growth. Because if you aren't growing, you're dead. I mean that's nature like you said has told us that.
mm, yeah. I like the way you put that in your own words. Good.
It's beautiful.
So next question. Wait, did you answer how do you make daily regularly? Yeah, you like to learn and grow
And love.
and
Learn
love
and love.
and love.
Yeah.
Love is huge. Um, Sorry, I feel like I'm rusty on this and we're just we're just being human. We're just
Or
no need
alien.
to apologize for that. Don't apologize, everyone, for, for being
Right.
yourself and just
Be
going through
yourself. Apologize when you're not yourself.
it.
Apologize to yourself when you're not yourself.
We're learning every moment, aren't we? We go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, all right. So, what motivates you to make these choices for making the most of your life?
Mm. This is very cliche, but it's where my brain wanted to start. But I want to leave this planet, leave this universe, leave this existence, this paradigm, whatever, better than it was when I got here.
Good.
And I think, as is the macrocosm, is the microcosm.
Mm,
So the hopefully 100 years that I exist on this planet, every day is 100 years. You know what I mean? So if I can leave the 100 year span tidier, happier, more loving in any way, more than it was when I was born, each day is the same thing. Each day should be like a century. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
yeah, I'm thinking it's making me think that like because we only have the present, right?
Yep.
We only have one day at a time. And
Hmm.
so you better be making the most of each day if you're really trying to make an impact because you don't know when your last day is.
Correct.
Is that
Yeah.
what you're getting at?
100%. a hundred
Okay,
percent.
cool.
I think that that's what that amounts to. Yeah. Yeah. Is like, yeah, that's very well said. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do, you know?
It's not an easy thing to do, and it takes a lot of discipline and focus and deep understanding about yourself and what you want, um, and what you don't want, and it's a it's a good challenge we should all work on.
Yeah.
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 Um, cool. Okay, so here's a big question. Um, what tribulations, adversities, or roller coasters have you gone through that you've learned to fight through and succeed as you have, making life sweeter now? What have you learned from those experiences?
Mm. Yeah. So right now is an adverse time for me. I am 3,000 miles away from familiarity,
Mhm.
family, and I had to find like new family, which goddamn shout out to everybody that has become my family out here in LA. And I think I always knew that family's not blood because I have so many people that I call my brother or my sister or my grandma that aren't my blood relatives. And it doesn't matter to me. But I think I learned that lesson again, I suppose, coming here. And that's helping me through this adversity. Cause man, it's tough, man. I don't really have a roof over my head out here. I'm just like going to shows like nothing. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of overcoming this adversity is just like that's what I'm here for. Everything else is temporary. This tribulation, me being homesick sometimes. I haven't gotten homesick, but I've been like, man, like what if I just go back? What if I just sell my car and go back?
Mm,
And pushing through it is like, what did I come out here for? What do I want from this? And I remind myself the position I was in when I was at MGM and how much I don't like it. I was like, again, I'm using this word intentionally, domesticated.
mm,
That term is from this book that I read called The Four Agreements.
Oh
Very
yeah,
good book.
I've heard of that book. I've looked at it. Yeah.
You should read it. It's only like 150 pages, maybe. Amazing.
Hmm.
And it talks about this domestication that people go through, and it's not on some weirdo thing. It's like real. It's not, you can look at it as like when you if you the life you want to lead is something extraordinary, and ordinary is not bad. Some
Yeah.
people choose ordinary, and that's perfectly fine. But if you
Yeah.
want extraordinary, you trade that in for working an ordinary job, for doing ordinary things. That's you trade it. So again, this is not some mystical, magical talk. You do become domesticated because you're like it's like shaving your head in the army. You know what I mean? It's like something you
Yeah.
trade as a token. So yeah, I remind myself of that, and I get through every day, and I'm happy to be here, happy despite this tribulation.
Yeah. So you're like couch surfing? Is that what
Yeah,
you mean by yeah?
couch surfing. I've slept in my car like for the past like week, two
Hmm.
weeks. Yeah, and
Wow.
it's obviously it's not the best thing, but it's all right. Like I said, I'm not out here to sleep, and I sleep fine. I'm safe,
Yeah.
but I'm out here to like do the Eddie Saturn thing.
Yeah. 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 You're the beginning of the rest of your life, and you have big goals and big dreams. I'd love to hear those too. Um and yeah, why don't we just go right into that? Like um talk about what is your your goals and your dreams right now that you're trying to accomplish. You went out there and what's your vision? Like that
Yeah,
doesn't lead to a well, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So like I said, I'm a big film guy. I think my immediate plan goes up to there. I have like a big, 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 big plan when I'm older,
Yeah.
but I'm I'm too much of a imagine. I have too much of an imagination where if I plan too far, it's gonna be
Yeah.
messy. So
Yeah.
I'm doing little chunks, and
Yeah.
we'll call this like phase one. I have like up until phase one,
Yeah.
and
You don't want to give
it's
away all your plans either. So,
exactly. So in phase one, I am going to release an album, and it's called Dork, which is like it makes so much sense, after what we talked about. And that's coming out this year, which I did say on the internet, but this is like archived now because I think it was on a story that I was like, yeah, my album's coming out this month. So this
oh,
is archived. Dork is coming out this year, and I've been working really hard on it for about a year and a half with
mhm.
Donnie Dark Pop, my boy Charlie Fullwood, and my boy Rob Slunt, and a bunch of other people have just been working really hard with me to make this project come out. So yeah, I'm going to put that out to show people like, yo, not just the music, but the visuals, the concept. I did that. I'm a creative director. And then I'm gonna go into the film industry by saying like, yo, I did this short film, I did this, and I want to do film. So that's like my phase one plan that ends where my film career begins.
It's interesting because we met because of your music, and but your bigger plan is filming and like being a writer and a producer or some sort. It sounds like
Yeah, like an Imagineer, I guess. There's not a
yeah.
good term. I've been using creative director.
Hmm.
I thought that was like a made up thing, but or like I thought the way I thought of it was made up. But I met creative directors out here, and it's
Oh,
exactly like it's almost exactly what I want to do. So yeah,
oh, cool.
creative director.
There's so many roles in film that it's like, I always like to wait and watch the credits, at least some of them, and it's just like it's so interesting. Like there's so many positions, so many
Yeah,
people that work on one film. It's
Yeah.
Wild. So
Even
to
the small
figure out,
films.
yeah, but so to figure out like what role you specifically want, like that's that's big right there, I feel like, just to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because all of it's interesting and all of it can be adjacent, but completely different. Like the
Yeah.
producer, the writer, and the director. That's three different people. They're pretty adjacent, but they're vastly different.
Yeah. So tell me more about what's a creative director do in the exactly.
So I think it's too broad of my role in the film industry, but it is going to be my role across the board. So creative direction, what that means for me is I want to be able to, write ideas. Like I'm an idea guy. Like I
Yeah,
I
me
I just
too.
have crazy imagination. You get it,
Yeah.
where you're just like you see like again with the triangulation, how we both triangulate, you see something coming together and you're like, "Oh, that's a new thing. That's a new idea." And then you can just run with it.
Yeah.
So, I want to do that for film companies, for brands. Like I could write commercials. I
Yeah.
actually really want to write commercials. Like
Cool.
funny, interesting, weird commercials. I could do that for a musician. I could do that as an A&R where I'm like, yo, this guy would go good on this label because he'll bring this, or this girl has this type of sound, but we can make it. You know what I mean?
What's A&R
So
stand for?
artist relation, I think.
Oh,
Artist. No, it's not. That's not artist relation. It. I forget what it stands for, but yeah, it's like scouting.
okay,
Some
cool.
reconnaissance, artist reconnaissance, maybe.
I
We're
love
gonna
it.
say artist
Yeah.
reconnaissance.
Okay. Artist. Yeah, one of my other dreams is to be a talent scout for for music.
Yo, do
Yeah.
it. You're good at it because you talk about that in shows, bro. Like, yo, I would love that, bro.
So yeah, because one of shout out to one of my other guests I've had, Justin Peters, but he's actually he owns a record label out in Nashville, Tennessee,
Hmm.
and I just randomly met him through Facebook, but then we had a great podcast episode. Um, so look out for that once these get published. But he's cool. So he there might be something up out there that's possible with triangulating him and you and others.
Hell yeah.
He's all about the variety of his label's about the variety of music. So they're pretty cool.
That's awesome.
We'll see what connects we can make.
Yeah. Yeah.
But talking about he was open to the idea of me talent scouting for them. So got excited.
That's fucking awesome. You're a people person, man.
Yeah,
Like through and through. I could feel it immediately. Like as
yeah,
soon as we like shook hands, I was like, yeah, this guy's a people person.
yeah.
And it's like
Me too.
genuine. It's not like some it's a skill, but it's not just a skill for you. You
No,
like it, you're good at it, you feel
it's
it.
just who I am. It's just like the gift I was given, I think. You know,
Yeah.
I've always liked interacting with all different types of people and learning and, listening and asking good questions and also where this comes about.
Yeah.
What way can I interact with all sorts of people and get licensed to open doors to who knows where and talk to people that in ways that I never would have been able to.
Yeah.
It's cool. Nice. The glasses here. Good look. Now we're looking smart.
Right now I'm a dork.
And dorky, yeah, dorky. Oh boy. Um, did you have anything further to say where we're at?
No, that's like my plan, that's to get in the film industry. I got a lot, man. I got a lot on the way in the next few years, and
Good,
I'm wicked excited about it. Like,
good.
yeah,
That's also what, making the most of life is about is you got to have goals and plans and aspirations and I mean you don't have to. Well, if you're making the most of it, I think you do.
yeah, right, right. It just comes with it.
Yeah. Um, so uh, well, I had another question here. Like, how do you overcome the challenges that you're going through, you've gone through, to conquer your mountains? Like, what have you, how have you done that so far?
Yeah, discipline. My brain wanted to say discipline because I think that's where it starts. Discipline has shaped my successes, and discipline is much like an ice bath. So I love the concept of an ice bath because it is something that is not pleasurable, but that's not the point of it. It's good for you. There's a ton of benefits, but even that is not the point. You are doing something that you don't want to do, and you're doing it anyway, and you sit
Mm,
through it, and not torturously, but presently you sit there, right? You don't want to be like and panicking. You gotta it sucks, but you did it and you chose to do it, and you're gonna
hmm
sit in it and you're gonna be at peace in the storm, you know?
mm, hmm
So I like ice baths, I like cold showers, and that discipline I translate into everything I do. I do the thing. My uncle actually had a great quote that sounds absurd, but it makes sense. And it's simply called bite the frog.
Mm.
So if
There's
you
a
have a
book
list of
called Eat the Frog by Brian Tracy. It's about
it might
sales and doing difficult things you have to get past. It's a similar idea.
I think that's exactly it. It might be eat the frog. I think he just said bite the frog.
Okay.
So eat the frog. We're gonna say eat the frog, and I think this is the concept that Brian Tracy was probably saying. So you have a list of things to do, and on your list of things to do is eating a frog.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to do that. Although I had frog out here in LA, and it's good.
I had frog legs before. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
So shout out to my friend Yi for that. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, you don't really want to do it, but it's got to get done. And if you do it first, you have the discipline to do it first and stick through it. The rest of your list is extremely freaking easy. That's why I was telling you on my perfect day, I like the gym, but it is a laborious physical discipline. So if I do that first, everything else is it's just easy. It's just a walk in the park, you know? I don't
Yeah.
have to lift weights when I'm making music.
Yes. So you get the hardest things out of the way first.
Yeah, and I do them every day. Like going to the gym. Not every day, but every day that I'm like I have the intention of doing it, I don't back out. So if you
Wow.
have the intention of doing something, you got to just go. It's like when you're gonna jump like cliff diving. I this is
Yeah.
actually exactly what I did. I went cliff diving in Chicopee
Uh-huh.
or Ludlow, and uh, as soon as my brain was like, wait, maybe before I could say shouldn't, I jumped, and it
Oh,
was amazing. It was the coolest thing in the fucking world, jumping into the I think maybe it was Chicopee Falls. Either way, it doesn't matter. Jumping into the water, and it's the same thing. As soon as you come up with the idea to do something that's not like harmful, you should do it.
yeah. I struggle with that. I second guess, I overthink, you know, I take some steps back, forth, around, you know. Yeah, so um but when you have a good plan, it's important to just stick with it and not get caught up in all the pre-thoughts that I get stuck in myself. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and even being kind to yourself, right? Because you're like, oh man, I wish I just did things as they came up. That's not always gonna happen. Like, there's so many times, like the gym, like today, I could have. I'm glad I didn't because I would have been a little late. But
Oh,
I could have just woke up and gone. But I dragged a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and wake up. I'm gonna go get my tea because I can't do anything. I don't eat or go to the gym until I drink my turmeric tea.
oh,
Shout out to Yogi tea. It's not
Yogi
gonna pop
tea.
up. It's not
I
gonna
can't
pop
s
up.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. I love
Um,
Yogi tea and the quotes on the back of those.
so good. This one
What?
says,
Yeah.
"Breath is the voice of your soul."
Ooh.
I like that.
Mm.
But I digress.
Yeah.
The point was, it's It's great if you can do it as soon as it comes up, but that's not the point. Again, discipline. As
Hmm.
long as you do it anyway, then you've achieved discipline where you're like, I don't want to do it, or I'm dragging my feet about it, or I have doubts. As long as you do it, despite these doubts and despite this resistance towards it, then you're good. And you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because the point is not to do it immediately. That's just like the best case scenario. The point is to do it,
Yeah. Follow through.
follow
And
through.
yeah. 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 And yeah. And fight through the the fight to get there and do it.
Yeah, the resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. This, yeah, exactly. Um, all right. So so your way of overcoming and conquering things is persistence and discipline, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think that's what gets me to my successes 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your why? Your big why, your big purpose, um, or your mission statement. And if you have those put together, and is it because of those challenges you've gone through?
Yeah. So my again, my brain is I'm just listening to my brain, my gut, my soul.
Yeah, go with that. Yeah.
This is gonna sound weird, but I can explain it briefly. So my mantra, as of now,
Hmm.
I think I have another answer for like a huge global mantra, but my mantra right now that's my why is I'm doing it for my kids. I don't have kids right now,
Oh.
but I am very serious about the relationship I'm in with my girlfriend.
Mm.
She's essentially my wife at this point. We've been
Okay.
together for so long
How
and
long?
strong 8 years, man, which is
Nice.
crazy for me. That's
Hmm.
like that's my all my 20s. I've been with her all my 20s. And I definitely want to have kids with her. I definitely want to have kids and see the product of both of us because she's a great person.
Mm.
And I think I'm a cool Saturnite alien. So to see the product of that and love it and raise it would be great. So literally what woke me up out of the domestication was like, oh shit, like I need to do the things that I wanted to do before I have a kid because then it's about them. And through doing the things that I love to do, I think I could have something that can help raise them, like money and opportunities and knowledge. Going through this journey is going to make me a better person to help raise this kid. So yeah, for real, for real, for real. That's my mantra right now. I'm doing it for the kids.
I like that. Very um forward thinking, very um very good purpose. Um yeah, I think too a lot about like my legacy, like what do I want to leave this world with? You talked earlier about leaving the world better than you came into it,
Yeah,
and like doing something to make a difference. And like what is that? It's a big question for all of us. Like, what do you want to do with your life? You have this life, you know, do something cool with it,
yeah,
you know? And
right.
and yeah, like you plan on having kids, like you want to set it up so that and do your thing. I totally agree that's smart to do your thing, like or get your thing started at
At
least
least.
before they come around.
Yeah.
Um, don't feel like you have to get it all done before they come around,
No.
but and because that's not that doesn't make any sense.
Right. I'll be old.
Yeah.
If I truly am there, I'll be like 90, be like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of the cool thing is bringing the kids along on the journey with you, like, and teaching them along the way and, you know,
Yeah.
getting them involved. And that's really cool. I like that the reason that you've chosen like that you decided that your girlfriend is the person you want to have kids with. like it's all principled. It's very like you feel like you'd make something beautiful together,
Yeah.
you know? And because you're two beautiful people and you have a great thing together, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That actually means a lot.
Yeah,
It means a
good.
lot.
I see it. And I'll look forward to staying in touch and seeing how all these things develop. Of course, this
Yeah,
is
man. You're gonna see it, man. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna see it.
awesome. Um, and you're welcome to come back to this, do other episodes too in the future and follow up and along the path.
Yeah, I
Um,
would love to. This is an aside. I would love to show you a couple of my friends out there. I don't know if you know Monsoon Roastery. It's a coffee shop in Springfield.
no.
You should check it out. I don't know how far of a drive it is for you, but it's worth it. Even if it's 40 minutes,
Okay.
it's totally worth it. They have really good coffee. So Tim, he is like a savant for coffee. Like the
Oh
dude
wow.
has a journal. He has a journal about the different taste profiles of different beans and where they're from.
Whoa.
Brilliant guy, and his wife Andrea, also my friend, is also very brilliant. And they're both. She's like a businesswoman. She's like so freaking smart. Um. Anyway, they both are very spiritual people,
Hmm.
and like I feel like you guys again triangulation. I feel like you guys would have
Uh-huh.
a great conversation.
Cool.
And they had a podcast back in
Oh,
the day where it was similar. We just talked about like spirituality, and the guests would have their own take on it, but it would all be very all encompassing. Like
mhm.
it wouldn't be like even if they were religious, the way we talked about spirituality was like all encompassing. So yeah, I would love to introduce you to them. And my friend Milton, who his business is also in their space in Springfield. They all coexist in this business like campus, if you will, in
Oh,
Springfield.
cool. I want to
And
explore that place. That just sounds like a cool place.
yeah, yo, just go. Seriously, it's on Albany Street and it's called Gasoline Alley.
Okay, Gasoline Alley. Shout out to Gasoline Alley.
Shout out to Gasoline Alley.
And
Like all of my favorite people pretty much in Springfield are like there or have
yeah,
or go there, even like the guests and stuff.
we'll follow up on that outside of this
Yeah,
more detail.
yeah.
Um, do, let's see. So your why is your kids, your future kids,
Hmm.
and making, your great mark on the world.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any advice for the following fans here or audience to be for how to do better at making the most of life?
Yeah. So I was chatting with my friend pretty late. My friend Ryan Song. We had just gone to this open mic and then we got like real introspective and we were talking about music and then it turned into like life. And
Uh-huh.
we realized that reduction is far more effective than addition,
Mm,
meaning stay simple, right?
yeah.
It's okay to add, like sure you can add, but most of the time we add thinking that it's going to make things easier or better or yeah, just improve it. When in reality, reduction, going closer to zero, is there's peace in that. There's peace in that, and it's hard because sometimes you're reducing stuff that you thought was necessary. Like I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm trying to look at nature for an example, and maybe I'm not finding it, but I guess this is coming to my mind. Imagine like a flower or a weed, right? That specifically, imagine a weed that looks beautiful,
Mm,
but it's hurting the garden. You know what I mean?
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And then you think it's beautiful, so you keep planting more, but it's like, yo, you're hurting the garden. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta cut that shit. You gotta cut it
Yeah.
out. That's kind of like how things can be. And there's better examples. That's just one that came to mind.
That's a
So yeah,
good analogy though.
yeah. my advice is be reductive, or or don't be additive immediately. Think about it first. Like when you're trying to create, if you have an idea, just like simply do it. Don't add yet. Get it done and then you can add after, right? And don't worry about the condition that this minimal thing is going to be in, because people can enjoy it. And you have no rules on what you do with it after. You can put out an amended version of your art, right? Whether it's
Yeah.
physical, musical, word art, whatever your art is, you can put an amended version and it can grow because, like we said, growth is life. And we don't need to like hide it and try to be like all mysterious. Like grow in front of your peers
Mm,
and be minimal about it, you know?
I like it. I've been working a lot lately on keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a that's a forever challenge.
It's
Um,
hard.
ongoing. Yeah, it's hard. And I have a lot of stuff, so it's like simplify, keeping that simple, keep it, but keep life simple, keep everything simple, and it makes life easier to deal with, less stressful,
Yeah.
um, easier for other people um, to
Interface with.
interface, engage with. Yep. Um, you know, so yeah, and with our all of our ideas that we have and wanting to expand and grow and build but keeping it one step at a time, simple steps along the way, and don't go try to like because I'll get my ideas too, and I'll get like want to do all this stuff, right? And
Hmm.
it's like just keep it keep it focused, you know, and don't try to fit too much in one day, you know, over scheduling, then that just causes you stress and you're running around and like, yeah.
That's really well said, man.
Thank you. Well, you inspired it. The so, you know, um,
I hope we both learn more and more about that lesson and improve. I hope we do, because man, it's hard for me too,
yeah,
keeping it simple.
yeah, yeah. So good. Um, Now, do you have a favorite book or other resource that you go to for motivation, encouragement, empowerment, uplifting, rejuvenating, refreshing, or resilience?
Yes, sir.
There's the
This
book
is
that
the
you
book.
mentioned before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called. It's not gonna
Yeah,
work. I
bring
got
it
to so
back a little
far
bit.
away.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it is called The Four Agreements, and it is written by Don Miguel Ruiz, who is a Toltec. I forgot what he called himself, but he's a Toltec. Does it say it? It doesn't say it immediately, but he's Toltec, and he has these words of wisdom, and he shares them in a very. It's disguised as a self-help book, but it's not a self-help book. It's like it's like having a conversation with a friend. It's like this. It's like a podcast in a book, and you are discussing what's wrong with the world in a very not an angry like oh like anarchy way, but in a way that you can like learn and realize what's going on, and then he tells his view on how to get out of it.
Oh,
To which I think it's objective. I can't say right because right and wrong is subjective,
yeah,
but it is objective the way he's telling you how to deal with things. And there's nothing wrong. The only resistance is your ego being like, well, I don't do this. But as soon as you read it, like I recommend reading and reflecting. Don't try to read the whole thing through.
yeah.
Read like maybe one agreement at a time because he separates it to the four.
Hmm.
But read it and reflect. That way you are less resistant of like being like don't resist being vulnerable. And I think by reading it and then reflecting and just kind of sitting back. It's going to make you less and or more vulnerable as you keep reading, because that's the only thing that's going to obstruct your brain from the views that he's preaching.
Hmm. Allow yourself to be vulnerable through it, and
Yeah,
and open heart, open mind, and just like to receive it
yeah,
with that, because they're like mind opening, maybe bending concepts in there.
yeah, yeah. I resisted a little bit, and I was very vulnerable going in, and then I'm like, I I do this. The things he's saying don't do. We all do it. That's the thing, and you shouldn't feel like he's singling you out because he's just saying we all do this. So as soon as you get over that and you're like, I do. Even if you have some point where you're like, well, just don't even say it. Just say yes, I do.
Hmm.
Then everything else is going to clear out the gunk in that river. You know what I mean? It's just gonna
Hmm.
start flowing.
Hmm. Okay. Well, and that leads to my next question. Do you have a favorite quote or two, something from the book? And then, let's pick a quote or two from the book, and then like some other random that are just your favorites that you think of often.
Definitely. Yeah. I cried in the beginning of this book. And it was because he said stuff. This is a good one. He
Okay.
said a bunch of stuff that I thought of before, and I thought I was like alone in it.
Uh-huh.
And then just seeing somebody say it with so much conviction and like expanding on it made me feel like, okay, like I'm not the only one, because so many people have read this, so many people agree. And I think as a world we possibly agree. We're just kind of running from it. So a good quote. This is a little out of context, but I just saw it and I liked it.
Okay.
I am made of light. I am made of stars.
Hmm.
And this is the small context is he's describing a story in his Toltec culture, and the seer or whatever, the wise man is like telling people what we are. And then it says, it's not the stars that create light, but rather light that creates the stars. That's
Mm.
crazy. Everything is made of light.
Yeah.
Crazy. Sorry, I'm getting like hooked into it as I read it. So yeah,
Yeah, right.
those,
You want to keep going?
I do. We should do like a book reading.
Oh, that'd be
Um,
cool.
that'd be freaking cool. Yeah. So I would say that those two quotes are good because I remember that's exactly where I started to be like, oh shit, this guy is like he's on to something.
Mm.
Um, I think any other quotes I have are gonna be like rap bars.
Okay. Well, let's pick a quote from one of your songs one of your bit of lyrics that you like.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So I have a song that just came out called No Counsel, and it is my anthem. And I want everybody else to feel the same way because it's my anthem for, as the name suggests, having no counsel, having no one else in it's a single man tribunal. It's a
Hmm.
single man or woman tribunal, your own thoughts.
Or
So
person.
or
Doesn't have to be
person,
a
right?
man or
Thank
woman,
you.
person.
It could be a person, it could be an animal,
Could be an
to
animal.
to just be to your own devices and making your decisions. So my favorite bar from that song is, so shout out to my boy Jake Courier, Akinath. He's the one that inspired it. So he told me one time, he's like, I don't take advice from somebody I'm not trying to be like. And the
Yes.
bar is, I can't think of the bar that sets it up, but it's, I can't take advice from any. Oh, wait, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
pull it up right now.
Okay.
Have you heard that song yet?
Is it one of the ones you sent me? Let's see.
I think I did. It's out though. It's out on streaming right now.
Oh, you sent me a couple of unreleased things, one of which I'm gonna play in a bit.
Hell yeah. Um,
You sent
so
me
this is a
the
cool little
escape
bar
one.
right here. It says, "Oh, escape." That's like, oh, that's so good. That's like a whole conversation worth. Um, so yeah, the bar is don't need crystal ball. I'm a group project. Please don't get involved. I can't take advice from people that I'm not. So it's like
Mm,
I know what's going on. I don't need a crystal ball. And then you know how group projects, like I'm saying a couple of things. So like everybody should feel this way. I'm as complicated as a group project. Like I need all hands on deck. But don't actually do anything because you know how like a lot of times in school you're working on a project and like no one else is helping. It's like just you doing it.
yeah,
Have you ever had that? Yeah,
yeah.
that's like how I want to be. Um, and then that advice line, like
You like
advice,
working alone, is what you're saying.
yeah, and it's like let's not pretend like you're gonna help in this group project because nobody ever helps in the group project. You want to claim your involvement in it. You don't actually want to
Yeah.
be involved in it, you know?
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like my favorite bar in that song, and that's like a good quote because it's I think about that all the time. I think it's cool to listen because again, you should be a student, and there's something you'll gain even from somebody who you're like not trying to take advice from. But at the end of the day, you should not change your trajectory at all for anybody unless it's somebody who's like your mentor,
Yeah.
who you want to be like.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, like I think about that too, like not to change for other people or not to be too um manipulated to um get sidetracked off your own path. But like if you gotta in order to do that, you gotta know what your path is and
Yeah,
you know and know yourself well to stick to that. There's another quote, it's like if you don't stand for oh no wait, stand for something or you'll fall for anything,
I love that quote.
right? You
Yeah,
heard that
that's such a
before?
great quote. Have I heard it before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kendrick Lamar used it in one of his songs.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, he's good.
He's good. Yeah.
Um, okay. So yeah, I love quotes. Um,
What's your favorite quote? Is that it?
oh man. Well, actually relating to you're talking about stars and light and um I like I think about like, shining our light and there's a quote, I can't remember it exactly, but it's a pretty famous quote. It's a long quote, but the essence of it there is like um it's not our uh it's not our um it's not our weaknesses or our um something that we should be most I should look this up. Hang on a second. I don't want to I want to get it right.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. That's why I was like, nah, I gotta look this up. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to. I'm not trying to paraphrase, especially paraphrasing badly.
Um
Yeah, you should check out after this. Check out the music video for No Counsel. I
uh
did it all on my phone, all on my friend's phone, and I edited it all on my phone.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
No, no, no. I was just kind of like filling conversation, and I was talking about No Counsel. So I have the music video for it out. So it released on my birthday. You should check out
Oh,
the music video because I
okay. Well,
shot it on
tell
an
tell us,
iPhone.
yeah, tell the audience here that'll be listening about that and where to find it.
Yeah. So I have it on all streaming platforms, and I think my favorite spot for you guys to listen to it is on YouTube. It's in my music video. Excuse me. I have a music video for it, and we shot it on an iPhone. My friend Reese and my friend Jazz helped me shoot it on iPhones, and then I edited it on my Android. So it's all cell phone.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So I found the quote that I was thinking of,
Hmm. Let's hear it.
the essence of it. Um, it's our deepest fear is um it's by Marianne Williamson. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Um, let me read. That's like the essence of it.
Yeah.
Um, I want to keep reading it. Um, we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. Marianne Williamson. That's
Jesus
like
Christ.
one of my
That's
ultimate favorite quotes.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Hmm. So like the whole idea of like um just shine your light and don't like try to dim your light because you feel like self-conscious or you feel like you're outshining others. Like
Yeah.
no, shine your light bright, like and it'll empower others to shine too. Like, you know, don't drop down, like lift up, you know.
Yeah. Because it's
So
gonna make other people shine brighter, like you said. Like if you dim, then you've kind of set the stage, and that's like what everybody around you is gonna try to do if they're like looking up to you or like, you know, they even somebody who's shining brighter than you once you dim, they're not gonna reach any higher potential because now that's all they have to do is just shine how they've been shining, and that's enough in this space. We should just be shining bright, not in competition,
yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. Key.
right, not in competition, but to fill this space together and fill this space at our highest intensity. You know what I mean? Because that's all this is. And I think the next part of the quote I was going to read in this book talks about space in between the light, and it's like it's infinite. If you think about it, like let's pretend we're stars and pretend we can emanate light infinitely, just
Hmm.
as space expands infinitely. If you shine, we're gonna come up with like a fake measurement, right? We'll say lumens is real, but let's say lumens can be like you could track like the distance, like the space that it's taking up. Say you go max lumens for one day, and now everything's really bright. A second later, right? Space has expanded. Now there's space in between. So I think
Uh-huh.
all our job is to just keep filling that space and shining bright, not because we're trying to be brighter than each other, but just to fill that space because that's it. That's all there is, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, one dark room will light up with one candle or one lighter.
Hell yeah. Hell
Doesn't
yeah.
have to be a lot of light
It doesn't.
to see, you know, but if you want to really light up all the dark spaces, then yeah, you got to keep shining everywhere you
Shining bright.
go and
Yeah.
you know, everything you do. Um, and I love the idea. Another lesson from nature is that like, look, the sun just shines, just what it does. It doesn't. It's not judgmental. It doesn't care. It's not like, you know, picky or choosy. Like who gets to get the sunshine. Like it just shines. And like when it's not sunny, the sun's still shining. It's just above the clouds.
Yeah.
You know? It's like um, and it's just there for free. Like for for everything and everybody to benefit from its power. Like, you know, sun is our sun, our star is our life, you know. It's like just just shine unconditionally.
Unconditionally, yeah. Because that's what we're here for.
Yeah. Um, I got a couple more pieces here to wrap it up. So this is like the final question really before we get to how can people find you and follow you and listen to your music and all that stuff. But
Hmm.
what three words most exemplify making the most of life for you to wrap it all up?
Hmm. Just choose love. That's a
You're doing it
sentence.
like
Is
a
that what you meant?
sentence? Interest. I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
doing three separate words, like I don't know, um, principles of making the most of life, three words. But I like your
three separate words. That's the
the
sentence. That's
sentence.
a three-word sentence.
The
But
sentence
I'll tell
again
you,
was,
just choose love.
I like it. That works too. But if you have, I'm interested if you have three other words separate.
Yeah. So three separate like keywords.
Yeah.
Childlike
Mm. Yep.
or inner child, if you can kind of like hyphenate that.
Yep. That's fine.
Love
Mm-hmm.
and discipline. I think that's like
Mm.
literally the thing that I lean on when I'm in a tough time or when I'm having a good time or just yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Those are good keys. All right. So let's go. Let's close it out with how can people find you and follow you if they want to learn from you and they want to follow your music and they want to should we now play your song that I have and then you can answer that?
Yeah, please. I'd
Think
be
let's just
honored. Yeah.
yeah. Um, all right. Or do you want to, why don't you give the information first and then I'll play the song?
Yeah. Are you playing Escape?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's extra fitting because Escape is always the last song, and I think it will be for a while. It's the last song I play in my live sets because it feels like people don't believe me, but I love everyone unconditionally. And I especially love the people that come to my shows because we end up having this connection. And by the
Mm-hmm.
end of it, we're just like, we want to talk about like me and you, we want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
life. We want to talk about because in between songs, that's what I do. I try to shoot a little bit of existentialism and escape is the epitome of existentialism in my music. And it's a literal goodbye in the set, but it
Mm-hmm.
feels like goodbye in the song too. And it's like not a goodbye so much as it's like literally I'm gonna see you again. Like
Yeah.
one of the lyrics is we can meet again, throw this shit in reverse. And I'll have the whole crowd sing it because it's like this chant. Like maybe we can spin time backwards because you're going through time backwards anyway, right? That's what it feels like.
How?
You don't see what's in like it's like the future's behind you, right? That's why you can't see it. And all the things that you did, you see in front of you, and they get further and further away, right?
That's so
So
but
imagine,
that's reverse of how you would think. Like, most of us think the future's ahead of us and the past is behind us, but you're flipping
yeah,
it.
yeah, and I think that that's real. I think that is a concept I thought about. I can't say that's real, but it's a concept I thought about because that's what it feels like. Like you look at you know your favorite thing to do as a kid, an action figure you had, or a doll, or a food, a bowl of cereal you were eating, like a literal point in time. It is now so far away from you, but it's in front of you. You can see it, and the successes you're going to accomplish, you have no idea. You just hit them like walls. Like, oh shoot, there's $1 million. Oh shoot, I just became a doctor. It's like bumping into you behind you. So
Huh.
if we throw it in reverse, that moment that you're far from is now gonna happen again,
Huh.
and more moments that you like are gonna happen and happen and happen. You know what I mean? And you'll see them like, oh shit, that's the show where I met Ben. Oh shit,
Uh,
you know what I mean? And so
does it kind
we
of
can
go
meet
along with
again.
with like retrospect, the whole idea of
Yeah,
retrospect is 2020, like you is that what you're talking about? Kind of like,
kind of. Yeah, kind of. It's a little bit more like trippy. I'm being like not nonsensical, but I'm being imaginative because obviously I don't nobody knows how time works, but it feels that way. It feels like fucking the past is in front of you, getting further away because you're moving backwards into the future. That's why you can't see it, you know.
okay. It's because where you can see and where you can't see that you compare to forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to conceptualize though, like because I just think future's forward and past is behind
Well,
backward. But
well, it's
but
like
it really
running
makes you think,
backwards.
really. That's the what?
It's like running backwards, you know, because that's why I think time is pointless in that regard because in this very thing proves it because forward and backwards doesn't matter because it's
Huh,
relative. It's
huh,
it's relative.
huh.
In this case, right, we'll say instead of forward and backwards, the points are future and past, right? Or
Okay.
yeah, future and past. If you're turned around going this way, is that forward or backwards?
Ah,
You don't know. I mean, you're to your
per-
physical perspective, it is backwards because you're turned around, but then the future is technically forward. So which is it? Is it forward or backwards? And I think it doesn't matter. I think that's why this whole thing is non-linear, and
yeah.
that's why I have this concept of like maybe we can like see this happen again. You know, maybe I can't have this amazing interview with you or this amazing podcast with you. Maybe I can meet you again for the first time. Maybe I can have
Uh,
that dish that you know what I mean?
yeah. I like it actually.
Yeah.
Um, more it really gets you thinking. Yeah, that's good. All right, so I'll play it now because you just prefaced it, and then afterwards we'll give your like contact info, your Instagram or something like that, whatever you want to do.
Hell yeah.
All right. So let's see here. All right, we gotta turn this up. Here we go. Escape by Eddie Saturn. Not released publicly yet, right?
Not
Still?
released publicly, so this is exclusive.
When's it gonna be released?
Ooh, this year.
Okay.
This year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Oh wait.
Seeing walls doesn't hurt. Everything you see is getting far in the blur. You somebody that I pass, what's the word? Let's get down, let's do dirt. We can meet again, throw this shit in reverse. Mama, trust me, I ain't lying, give me nerves. Scratching walls with the shirt. Whatever's at the bottom, it cannot quench my thirst. Fast times, fast times. I think they made my wish true. Very nice. Every day I'm more grown up again. Flat life. My music ain't your blind eye, that's right. This life is such a good time, one time. Fast times, fast times, fast times, fast times. I see you on the replay, na na na. You somebody that I pass, what's the word? Let's get down, let's do dirt. We can meet again, throw this shit in reverse. Trust me, I ain't lying, give me nerves. Scratching walls, ripping shirt. Whatever's at the bottom, it cannot push my thirst. Magic running when you're back going first. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I love that. So good.
Thank you so much, man.
You're
I love
welcome.
that song.
Yeah.
I spoke in Japanese on there. That's something that I do a
Oh,
lot. I am not proficient at Japanese, but I am learning. I got friends in Japan, so I constantly like show them that to make sure that I'm making sense and like because I know how to write in Japanese, like
in-
conceptually.
huh.
I understand their artistry, like their poetry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how they
Yeah.
do it. So then I just mimic it in my own words and then translate it. And
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, man.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love the world and all the different cultures and mixing cultures and concepts and you
It's
know,
beautiful.
yeah. If-
That's art when it yeah, in it of itself.
Yes. Yes. And we talk about triangulating again and you know, getting nerdy but it's chemistry, mixing chemicals, making new chemicals, making
Yup.
awesome reactions. Ratatouille, you know the movie Ratatouille?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I am very
Oh, you
familiar.
haven't?
I haven't.
Oh,
I'm slacking.
oh
I'm gonna have to
man,
watch it today, yo.
you gotta watch it. Yeah, because it's about I bring it up because it's like the rap that's a genius cook, basically, chef, right? And he's got all these creative ideas out of the box way of mixing ingredients that you wouldn't normally have mixed. And like it's like an explosion in the mouth and all that stuff. And you know, I like that idea that's like, yeah, think outside the box, bring things together creatively and you know, it's a whole new world.
Yeah. And it compounds on itself, right?
Yeah,
Like the stuff that's fusion fuses with another thing that's fusion. It
yeah,
makes a new thing, and then that there goes forever.
yeah, yeah. So we're one world, we're one family. We're all, you know, the same internally. You know, we might look different, but we're all people. We're
Hmm.
all we're all on the same earth. We're all living the same emotions and, you know, all that stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like so like we got to come together. If we're gonna make the most of life, we have to like come together as one like family, you know,
Yeah.
and mix it all up and, you know, globalize, you know, and have everybody specialize in their parts and come together and shine our individual lights because we're all unique and have something special to bring to the world. And so it's like um I don't know where exactly I'm going with this, but finish my sentence for me. You're following what I'm saying. Help me out here.
I am. Let's be one. Let's come together because it's inevitable. So instead of fighting it and trying to find ways that we're not one, let's just be one, all of us.
Yeah.
It's absolutely inevitable too. Like I mean that, you know? Because it's like taking a droplet of water and you can like kind of separate the water, you know? Have you ever like seen that? Like where a bubble will split into two?
Uh-huh.
That's like that's kind of like what has happened between us into a million different droplets. And
Yeah.
then trying to say that it's not the same water. When as soon as you tip the container that it's in, after they're all separated, they are the same thing, and they're
Yeah.
literally gonna come together to be the same droplet again. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
That's exactly what we are. We're just the same droplet of water from the faucet, you know?
Just with different experiences.
Yeah. maybe one droplet was on that corner, another droplet was there, another droplet got a little sugar in it, another one got dirt, you know.
Cool. All right, so how are people going to reach you and follow you and cheer you on and
Yeah, and I want to cheer people on back. So please get friendly with me. I am on Instagram at Eddie Saturn 29 and all other social media. I have a TikTok now, which is crazy. And I
oh,
want that to start picking up. So actually, if people can do me a favor, I know TikTok is like, I have my thoughts about it,
yeah.
but uh, besides the like political stuff and the like cyber stuff, like the cybersecurity stuff, it is actually a great platform. I've
Mhm.
learned so many things from it. I've been able to say things and have conversations with people. So if you would do me a favor, go on TikTok, make a TikTok, or I don't know if you can like look at TikToks without having one, but follow my TikTok and enjoy the content and talk to me there because that's a great space to conversate with me.
And
My
that's also
website.
Eddie
Oh, go ahead.
Sat
I'm sorry.
what that's also Eddie Saturn 29.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my website is a good place
Uh,
to find me because you'll find shows, you'll see when new stuff has dropped, merch, music, and it has a link to my Discord. So Discord is this platform, I don't know if you're familiar with it,
I know a
where
little bit, but pretend we don't know because we don't know who our audience is.
this is very true. Yeah. So Discord is a platform that is a lot like, I guess I can compare it to MySpace because you get to create this forum of stuff you care about that people can interface with. So like on MySpace, you had a lot of control over how it looked, where things were, and then people can comment and you can comment. That's like Discord, except it's like also you can video chat and it's real time, like pretty close to real time. So you can watch a movie with somebody on
Oh,
Discord, which is
cool.
really cool. You can listen to music together on
Cool.
Discord in real time. And I think it's the only streaming or like video chat platform. I don't know if Zoom can do it. That like say you played a beat, I could rap to it in real time where you'll hear it on beat, I'll hear the beat on time. You know what I mean? It's all like
Wow.
sync. So yeah, shout out to Discord. And I have one that has a lot of like sections. I was a little, I was additive, not reductive, and I don't regret it. I think in this case it worked out because it's set up for me later. You know, when I get more people in that, there's a place for you. We can talk about Steven Universe, Pokemon, Digimon. We can talk about Star Wars. We can talk about film in general, like Tarantino films.
Oh,
We can
that's
talk
great.
about music, and it's all there in forum.
Yeah, that's really cool. I just thought of something when you said about adding versus
Mhm.
subtracting or subtracting. Um, I like to think about if you're going to add things, add value.
Mm,
Make sure you're adding value, not things that aren't worth it.
necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is great advice. That is the amendment to that principle. Yeah,
Mm.
only
And like
add if it is valuable.
yeah, and in relationships too, like when you're coming together with someone, like you hear about people saying, "Oh, my other half," or you know, "You complete me," or whatever. No, like be complete on your own, you know, and then
Hmm.
and then find another complete person. I
Yep.
mean, we're all in the process through life, but like essentially we
Relatively.
relatively, yeah. Um, and come together as two strong entities together, and then you know, you're um and add value to each other. Don't try to take away from each other. Don't try to like control the other person or make them be a way that you think they should be. Let them be their best self, encourage their best self, add value, you know. Um, don't add stress, don't add, whatever.
Right. Reduce those things.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's like I totally co-sign that. I think that's how me and my partner Yana have gotten this far. I think we we spent a bit of time growing, but it wasn't codependent. It wasn't like a you complete me situation. It was, I was at a point in my life where I was like ready, she was, and we grew together, and now we're like relatively complete. And now we just add, like I tell her all the time, and I hope she believes me, like I can do anything by myself or with other people. Like I don't mind being by myself, like eating, playing video games, watching TV, whatever. But I have more fun, additive fun, when she's around. It's just so much better, you know what I mean? And it's that way with like everybody in my life. Like these type of thoughts that we've shared together, it's cool to do it on my own. I don't mind, but doing it with you is so much better, So I think every relationship should be this two complete people coming together to add.
Yeah, yeah. So I just curious about your girlfriend. Did she move out there with you, or was she already out there, or how?
So she's not out here, which is like the tough part. That's like part of the reason why it's especially adverse for me here. So
you're working that out.
I'm working it out. Yeah, she's still in Massachusetts, and she's figuring out her thing. And again, this is like proof that completion is relative, right? You complete to a certain point in your life, and we're both in a very transitional state in our lives. We're both trying to find that completion in this phase. So she's trying to figure out where she wants to go, what she wants to do, and I figured it out, and now I'm trying to make it happen. So
yeah, you'll come together as it's right when it needs to, and you support each other in pursuing your own dreams and plans and goals and going through the journey, and location doesn't have to matter.
Yeah, it doesn't at all.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, until the next time, we'll have to wrap this one up we might have to break this into we'll just have a long episode.
Yeah, you can clip it if I wouldn't mind like helping. We could talk about it after, but I wouldn't mind helping you clip it.
Yeah. I have a coach who's been helping me put this all together and edit and produce and stuff like that. So he's been working on all that.
That's awesome.
In the background for me so far, and then he's going to teach me how to do it on my own going forward.
Shout out to your coach. That's awesome.
First season, he's awesome. He's also another episode. Brad Neufeld is his name.
Brad Neufeld.
He's out in Utah. Yeah. So, but yeah. So shout out to Brad because he'll be watching this and working on it.
Brad.
So in closing, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Make the Most of Life podcast. Again, I'm Ben Wilsey, Eddie Saturn here. Awesome time. The double. So we'll see you again next time. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Birds flying high. Sun in the sky, sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Birds flying high.